Whenever a new Batman movie is announced, I always see the same reaction. They're making another one! And to those people I say, yeah, and if I had my way, we'd keep making them forever. Now, we all know these things print money, but I'm not a Warner Brothers executive with a gambling debt. I want to take a look at this from a creative standpoint, because I think the world needs more Batman. Do I have an argument to back that up? No. I have 4. Let's punch it. Normally I don't get a lot of enthusiasm from my producer, Wendy, but she's fully on board the Batman hype train. She's dressed up as Catwoman. You were wearing that anyway. Well, that's deeply unsettling. Anyway, I want to start by suggesting that some characters are just endlessly fascinating. Either they've reached mythical cultural status, or they just have something about them that makes them eminently watchable. In the same way that James Bond has 25 movies to his name, and characters like Sherlock Holmes or Count Dracula have endless stories about them, Batman is just a character that we enjoy watching. Why?
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
I think it comes down to 2 reasons. The first is that he's a fundamentally good, smart character who's got unlimited resources. We enjoy seeing someone solve their problems by essentially manufacturing themselves into a superhero. It's the ultimate wish fulfillment for super wealth, power, and the literal ability to strike fear into bad guys. The second reason is Batman's freaking cool, man. The cape, the shadows, the cowl, the growl, the ability to ask attractive women inappropriate questions.
How much do you weigh?
Whether it's Keaton's Batman cloaked in shadow or Patterson's Batman roaring out of the fire in the Batmobile, this is a character who does cool stuff and looks cool doing said stuff. And if that isn't cinema, I don't know what is. So we've established Batman as an amazing character, but he still needs to appear in good stories. Are there any good ideas out there? Unlike some superheroes where the origin story may be interesting, but then they quickly run out of steam, Batman has an endless array of potential stories. First off, let's talk villains. Batman's villain roster is more notable than half the protagonists of the MCU. Gangsters, psychopaths, tragic victims out for revenge, narcissists, whatever Bane is. These are fascinating characters in their own right, and you could easily make one Batman movie about each of these villains. Add to those villains Gotham, which is a city that can mirror real-life cities, or it can take on a life of its own as some lawless criminal landscape that needs cleaning up. This image can change from incarnation to incarnation, making for unlimited opportunities to set the stories against a unique backdrop. And then there's the exploration of Batman himself, the toll his life takes on him, the complicated world of living a double life. The exploration of a psyche that has to struggle between 2 worlds, never really knowing who he is.
You know who I am?
But I hear you asking, well, that's all well and good, CJ, but we've had a lot of Batman movies over the years. What's to stop us from just getting a slew of terrible retreads? It's an excellent question, but don't worry, I've thought of that. You can't beat me that easy.
Easily. Good grammar is essential.
Oh, sorry, Batman. Guys, come quick! The Joker's escaped his cell. Don't worry about it. He's always doing that. But didn't Batman literally just bring him in? Yeah, but he'll catch him again. He always does. But shouldn't we make it so that he can't escape, so he doesn't have to? We don't have the funds for that. Why not? Because of all the tax cuts for billionaires, which lets them funnel their money into becoming high-tech vigilantes, in turn making it possible to catch supervillains. It's the perfect system. Ow! Joker cut off my face! I think you're right. There's no better way of doing it. I'm going to regret asking this, but seriously, what's with the Catwoman outfit? You're going to be Catwoman in a play. That explains why you already have the suit. Did it come with a whip? Man alive, I don't know why I asked. I appreciate you want to practice, but you're not doing it here. The next thing we know, I lose an eye, and it's the start of some Batman-esque villain origin story. I think when Robert Pattinson's The Batman was announced, a lot of people were skeptical. But while that movie does have some critics, generally the consensus is pretty positive. And I think that comes down to the project being given to a filmmaker who had a vision for what he wanted to do with Batman that we hadn't seen before. I think a lot of the skepticism comes from people that couldn't imagine anyone improving on what Nolan did with the Dark Knight trilogy. And while those movies absolutely still hold up, a new generation now has a new Batman, and I hear Christian Bale referred to as the old Batman.
So that's what that feels like.
Every generation of filmmakers is going to have ideas about how to reinvent the things that they watched when they grew up, and Batman is no different. I feel certain that in a few decades we'll have had multiple incarnations of the character that have taken us by surprise, as long as we keep giving talented filmmakers the opportunity to make fun, interesting choices. We do have to be vigilant though, because if the right people aren't involved, what you'll end up with is a franchise that feels repetitive, because it's become predictable and cliched. So I can say with confidence that you'll never have to worry about that here at Movie Punch. What did I say about the whip, Wendy? And, oh, watch out for the postman! Okay, CJ, I hear you say, you've won me over to your line of thinking with your rock-solid logic and your Batman tie. But why do I still feel nervous? Well, unfortunately, I think you're still right to be, because while I stand by the take that I want more Batman movies, there's an absolute risk that the character gets overused. To see how that could happen, we only have to look at Star Wars. I would have been happy to live in a world where we get a new Star Wars movie every few years, but instead we get like 2 new series dumped on Disney Plus every year, and I've stopped caring. It's honestly impressive that they took a franchise that beloved and milked it so hard that people have lost interest. My fear is that out there somewhere, an executive is looking at Batman and thinking,
Dear Blade.
When you have a new movie every few years, it still feels special, but content bloat is a very real issue, and one that I hope Hollywood has learned from the Star Wars debacle. Now, I'm not saying you can never do spin-offs. The Penguin series was excellent, but you have to have a good reason to be telling that story. I remember hearing that Todd Phillips sold the Joker movie to Joaquin Phoenix by saying that they were using the comic book character to hide the fact that they were making a real movie. Now, I would argue that it was less a real movie and more a Scorsese knockoff, but the idea stands that if you have a creative idea and you want to use the word of Batman to tell it, that's perfectly fine. Just don't give us a glut of spin-offs that were made with Batman's name just to make money. I want more Batman movies. I don't want too much Batman content. Unless, of course, it's just an Amdram production featuring a small-time YouTube producer. What's this thing called, Wendy? A Batmobile named Desire. I don't have to go, do I? So that's my pitch, but what do you think? Are you eagerly waiting the Batman 2, or was Patterson a Caped Crusader too many? Leave me a comment, let me know how many Batmen is too many Batmen. I'm sure some of you will understandably be cynical about the future, but when it comes to Batman, I'm optimistic here. Agree or disagree, if you like this video, please consider hitting the like button, it really helps us out. But the most important thing is that Wendy's agreed that I don't have to go see her play as long as I let her practice her whip. So it's goodbye from Wendy, and goodbye from me. It looks like nothing's going to stop the world from making Batman movies, so nothing's going to stop me from making YouTube videos. Batman just adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see light until Wendy bought me a replacement.